Hi, welcome back to Monumental Minds, where every mind matters. I'm Megan Rose.
And I'm Mariah. We're the co-owners and founders of MR2 Connections Incorporated.
Thank you so much for your patience and bearing with us tonight. We've had some technical difficulties, but we are so excited to be here with our second guest speaker, Colleen Poukish. And she's joining us now.
Can you hear us? Are we lagging? Yeah?
Oh,
I
she's gone again.
No.
Like,
wait, can you
not
hear
as
me?
well as I could.
Are you lagging, though? Are you lagging on your end? Okay.
Maybe it was the headphones. I think the headphones
No.
were hit. That's what you were on last time, right? At the end.
All right, well, they disconnected, so let's see if they will connect. They're making it
The
lag.
headphones are making it lag.
Okay, yeah.
Can you hear me, though?
We can hear it. And like everyone else in the comments is saying that it sounds normal to them. So let's try and
we're just going to get closer.
Yeah, we'll just get real up close and personal tonight. That's okay.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm trying to turn these bad boys off so that I don't keep hearing it, because I just keep getting that like echo. And as much as I love the sound of my voice, it'll get annoying in the next hour, right?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm having such a hard time hearing you. We're trying so hard. Oh my word. I'm so sorry. This is
if the volume's up.
The volume's up. Did it flip back to Wi-Fi? Are we still on data? It's just the volume.
Mom, do you hear all of us right? Or are we lagging at all? What are you hearing, Mom?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
This is perfect.
Oh wait.
I changed it to
okay,
wide
cool.
spectrum.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Wide spectrum is what we need. This is it.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. We're so excited to have you. Okay, cool. Yay! I'm so excited. Thank you. So let's just dig right in. I'm so excited to meet you. I've heard so much about you. She had a session with you the other day, and my mindset is just everything for me in my journey, and just once it's kind of like a switch sometimes. So for you personally, when did mental health start becoming a big thing for you?
That's a very loaded question for me, because I think I have been very naive about mental health. And it's funny because like when I was listening to you guys last week, I was like, oh yeah, like things started to click. And I think mental health has been in my life from the beginning. But to me, it presented as like there's something wrong with these people. You know what I mean? Or it presented as like they're just not normal. So I didn't understand it. I didn't understand mental health. My biological mom left when I was 1.5 years because she could not handle being a mom, not knowing back then, that was 30 years ago, that there was something off. You know what I mean? So they just deemed her as a bad mom. So because of that, I lived in like this fight or flight kind of a childhood. Like my father would chase us around with a washcloth because he was so scared that like DYFUS was going to come and take us away, because like they didn't give kids to their dad. So it was like just something that we just lived through. It was just something that was around. Like my stepmother had depression. We didn't know that that was the thing. We just thought that she was just always angry because she couldn't handle the things that were going on in her life. So she took it out in anger. So again, problem-based childhood. Like it was always something's wrong, there's not enough. So growing up, I had no idea. So what happens when you grow up in that, you just think that this is okay. You just think that this is the way that things are meant to be. And then you go through your adult life living these same circles. So then I ended up with my ex-husband, who, being the naive person that I am, was an addict. Didn't know. I just thought he had anger issues. And in that same situation where it was always problem-based, where it was always fight or flight. So, and it wasn't until going through a divorce from him that I realized that I had something, because it was like I always thought that I was just scared. I was just this scared child that didn't take risks because why would I? I'm not good enough. I'm going to fail. Like this is stupid of me to try, So, and mental health didn't go up until I presented as sitting on my apartment stairs, shaking, crying hysterically, and my 7-year-old son had to call 911 because I couldn't deal with what was going on. So at that point, I was diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder and given all the meds that I could be given. So then I felt like I was always out of control. I felt like my life was not in my own hands, you know, because I was raised to focus on that problem and focus on outside influences to fix what's going on with me instead of realizing that I had everything inside of me to fix it on my own. So it wasn't until about a year before I met my future husband. He's pointing upstairs because he's upstairs. Not that he's in heaven, but he's upstairs. So that I started realizing that I could do this on my own, that I had the tools that I could fix or I could help myself out of my own way. So it just started like, at that time I was working as a cosmetology instructor, and my job was to uplift students. My job was to encourage that. So I kind of borrowed that confidence. I borrowed that inspiration for myself. And I started slowly changing my life. And the biggest shift happened when we decided to have my youngest, who is 4 now. And I didn't want to go on the meds. I didn't want to be pregnant with these meds, so I just cold turkey just went off it. And I fought my entire pregnancy with my mindset. I fought my entire pregnancy trying to not flip out, trying to be okay. And I wasn't. So I guess the rock bottom or the eye-opening part was about a year after she was born. I was laying on my bed in the middle of January, crying hysterically, trying to nurse her back to sleep for probably the 7th time that day so that I could hit the cabinet and eat all the cookies and go back to sleep, right? And I'm like, I can't live like this. I can't do this. So I decided to focus on my nutrition and my fitness. And that is where I found a coach. And back then it was like a wellness coach. And she led me to my now mindset coach. And for 2 years, I worked hand in hand with a mindset coach, helping me do all of the work, the internal work, the external work. And I started studying under her. And then finally I had this breakthrough and I was like, I don't want to do little stuff anymore. Like I started coaching myself, but I started coaching people with their wellness, like their nutrition and fitness. And I'm like, I want to touch people on a different level. I want to show them how I did it, how I shifted, and how I helped myself out of this, I can't even say proverbial hole because I was digging myself such a hole, it really bad. So I started doing the work and I started studying under her and learning how people help themselves. So that's how my story went. That's how I started transitioning into becoming this mindset coach. And now what I do is I help people find those blocks, because a lot of times we don't even know what these blocks are. We're just going through life with these blinders on, living these same patterns and asking ourselves, how the hell does this keep happening? Right? And we just keep pushing through because that's what we're taught, push through, work harder, bear down, don't be a insert negative word here, suck it up and just push through. And that's how I was going, and it wasn't getting me anywhere. So then when I started doing the work and I started making those shifts and I became aware of what my blocks were, I was able to accept them and kind of not push them down and back because they never really go away. You just learn how to move with them. You just learn how to use them as almost your superpower. So now that's how I help people. So we find the blocks, we flip them, and we create these superpowers. So And it's really fun and exciting because I get to meet wonderful people like Mariah and now you.
We're
And
so excited. That's just amazing. Can you
yeah,
like give us an example of like something that you turned around and used into a superpower? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
so for myself, so I never knew I had these trust things, right? So when it comes back from, my childhood, I touched on it very, very early in my story where my biological mother just left. So in me, it created this thought that I wasn't good enough. How could I be a good enough person for my own mother gave me life? She didn't even want to stay. I'm not worthy of love, right? The woman who created me couldn't stay around. So how could I be worthy of love? So then what happened was I felt like I pushed her away. So then I created these stories in my mind, like I'm not good enough to keep people. I have to push them away because they will never love me for who I am. So then I created the same story with my husband. Like I didn't understand all his mental illness, but I then pushed him away because I didn't deserve to have that kind of love, you know? So when I started doing the work, I realized that what it was is like, not only was it a trust, it was also abandonment that I was working with, right? Because not only was I afraid to trust people, but I knew that if I loved them too much, that they would leave me, right? So I had to do the work internally, and I realized that it wasn't me. It was never me, right? I was just this little innocent child that was just there and in all perfection, just living and learning and going through the motions. But these little tiny things created these stories in my mind that said, nope, this isn't going to happen. So what I had to do is I had to feel it. I had to like do the work around it and not get rid of it because it's kind of like, I use this really ugly analogy because it kind of makes it stick. It's like the skin on the back of your foot, right?
Yeah,
It's always there. You don't really think about it ever, right? But it's always there. And sometimes you wear the wrong size shoe or sometimes you like hit it up against something and it starts to be painful again. That's how like these traumas and these blocks are going to feel. Sometimes they're going to come up. Sometimes they're going to get a little rough and just learning that you can heal them and being is that the right word? Accepting them as they're here and they're here to serve me, right? Because this block of me not being able to trust people taught me that I need to trust me first, right? And if I stand true to myself and if I hold myself accountable and if I always live up to my word to myself, then I can trust myself. By trusting myself, I can trust others. And then I started finding proof in people. Like I wouldn't see the bad in people. I would see the good in them.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the same thing with the abandon, like learning that I had to love me first, right? And by loving me, I could allow people to love me for exactly who I was.
And that's something
right?
that I struggled with for the longest time. I'm like, I just felt so alone in the universe and that nobody loved me and that I just was not worthy. And it took a long time for me to realize that that was everything that I was internalizing. And the second I learned to love myself, like my whole world changed. I'm like, oh my God, everybody loves me. This is great. And you turn into a magnet. Whether it's for trust or love or all the things that you want to, the light that we radiate, we bring that and draw it back into our lives with the people that we connect with. So that's super, super cool.
Yeah, exactly. And that's wonderful that you came to that on your own because a lot of times people just, we don't want to see it, like seeing that it's us hurts, right? Getting aware that a lot of these things that are happening in our life is just things that we're creating, and it's not really there. And once we realize that we get to be this beautiful, perfect ball of light and love, then the world does change. Exactly like this. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it was so crazy because the other day when we were doing our session, like, and I gave you the whole I don't know answer, right? Which was totally not happening. You're like, no, you know. don't go there, you know. And but it so is, it's like, so oftentimes, right, we're just in the go of, you know, day to day, we're just like, I don't know what's bothering me, I don't know what this is, but really it's like 5 layers deep, and like you could get me all the way 5 layers deep. I'm like, what? Wow, who is this lady? She's great. I'm like deep in here, we're like 10 minutes in, and I'm deep in, and really realizing that, like, that I don't know is like really actually a lot deeper. There's a feeling to be fixed that it was even a feeling or two below what I thought it was, you know? And it was just so crazy to be able to actually take that and switch it and understand it all in that same, what, like hour?
Yeah. I don't know is a very powerful statement. Very powerful. I'll tell you two things that one, you're not aware of what's going on, and
Right.
you just don't want to feel it. You know, because a lot of times, like I said before, we're to push it down back, especially as women. You know, like we are responsible for everybody else's thoughts and emotions. We're not supposed to have them. We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be these like superheroes, but often gentle. You know, so for us, it's like that first response. So just breaking through, allowing yourself to sit with it and just drop a lot of stuff is like in when you drop from those egoic thoughts that are just telling us, no, you can't, you don't know, not enough. And those are just our old thoughts. They're just stories that along that sometimes become beliefs. True. So when we drop into our body, we feel that there is something more. You know, there's something more for us to understand, to realize, and to feel. You know, our feelings and our emotions teach us so much, and that's the one thing about my anxiety. You know, like they say that anxiety is allowing yourself or not your inner self to relying on the external to give you that validation or to fix or, you know, like give you the help that you're needing and focusing more on the future. But if you just stop and be really super present in who you are right now, because right now, in the exact moment, is perfect. Perfect.
Amen.
Right?
Yes, it is.
Right? I'm gonna make you stop. I'm gonna make you stop right here. So both just take a deep breath in and just close your eyes. And in this moment right now, it's perfect. Perfect. You couldn't want anything more. There's nothing that you need in this moment. Right?
That's powerful, man.
And that's what we have to live.
It is so powerful.
Yeah.
Well, and when I got done with it the other day, you know, it was so great and so powerful and so moving. And we did a few other things and some tools that she had taught me. But like at the end of it, it is kind of like emotionally exhausting. I was like, whoa, I feel like tired. You know, I was like, it was early in the morning, you know, I mean, not super early, but like I should not have been tired. But when I got off, I was like, whoa, I just need to take a minute. Like I went from like here emotions to figuring out things, you know, but it is, you really learn to like work, you know, life's a roller coaster, but you can really like work through that instead of just using it as, you know, a crutcher or using it against yourself. When you really sit with those emotions, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that with myself, like with my mindset coach, I literally, because I probably was super, super happy, super, super sad, really like all the emotions, right? In that 40 minutes to an hour. I found myself in my room. You're doing such deep emotional work that it's like, it's, you know, and you do, you have to recharge. So I work with a lot of so is somatic, emotional, behavioral, and unconscious session. Go through all of those, you know. So like we don't just feeling, you know. It's like I took Mariah. I think didn't I take you into like your, did I take
we went all the way back.
So
I need to do that. I need to do that.
We became very close friends. Yeah. do
Yeah, that would be great. I would love that.
Yeah.
It's so important. You know, I've done a lot of like one mindedness training and just bringing yourself back to the moment, like you said, and it's helped tremendously. But there's so much benefit to really just taking a step back and meditating and dissecting it a little bit further, because we're like onions, you know. There's so many layers to what we're feeling and what we're experiencing, and all of it's valid, whether it's uncomfortable or not. It's something that we learn from and grow from, and that's how we elevate and continue to grow internally and personally and spiritually. So yeah, I would love to take advantage of that. I would love to have a session. Yay, I'm so excited.
Most I'll totally do it. I'll send you my link. I'll post my link for my calendar, and we can set something up. But the thing is, the most important thing that you have to remember is not the judgment that come up and like these emotions that you're, because everything that you're feeling has a reason. Like they're there to serve you in some way. So like they're not necessarily good. They're just here to serve. So being able to like not judge what you're feeling, or even the thought, not and right, and then having so much super important, especially when you're doing the work and trying to realize that this is for power, that judgment really has to stay in the you know.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm so excited to take advantage of that. And for everybody seeing this, we will be posting on our page. If you heard it from us first, you actually get 10% off of sessions with Colleen. So we're super, super excited to promote and sponsor that. Thank you so much for sharing. We're so excited to continue to learn and grow with you. And you have to tell me about the crystals. You just have
She's
to.
dying. I'm like, I can't tell her story.
Okay. So I got a new one. Okay. All right. So, and I have it was like all woo woo. I had a messenger because this happened to me. I shattered 3 crystals in less than a week. Shattered, right? And Mariah was on the call with me, and it was this necklace. Well, it's a different, because like I emailed the woman, shattered. Send you a new one for the best. Like we're on this call and we're having a great call, and it was in a good part of the call, and it just went at like literally.
That's
You heard the pop.
so amazing. It's just like all that energy. It just like, I love it. And I was thinking about that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So the energy that it must take to do that, it's like you're taking it and like splitting it, and it just like, it's like showering all around. It's so cool. I just think it's so cool. Great vibes.
So she's like, I get to ground my energy between sessions because it's so exciting. Like I have so much fun doing this, right? And I'm like, okay, so like in between sessions, block like 15 to 20 minutes so that I can do intention writing, do a little like watch
Yes.
and get rid of whatever. So often get to ground, right? And I, building up all of this energy, absorbing all of this energy, like to the point where I felt like my head was going to explode. And I never put 2 and 2 together. I was like, oh, sinus. And then as these crystals are exploding on me, I one of my friends like kind of
oh my gosh, that is so awesome. You just have the best vibes and the best energy about you. I just absolutely love it. It's contagious.
She's like, I'm afraid to go into crystal stores, okay?
I've never before, because like if I hold a crystal, I automatically like lose it or drop it. I've been given crystals. My daughter, my oldest, is obsessed with crystals, and she's given me so many, and I've shattered them or lost them immediately.
It's just so wild. I like think on that daily. Like sometime during the day, it like comes. I'm like, I gotta figure this out.
Yeah, I just feel like, because it's energy, right? And we kind of like attract it, magnetize it, and I feel like you have so much love to give and so much light to share. It's almost like the universe drops these crystals where people are meant to pick up that energy, and it's like, it's so much, you just they split so they can be shared. That's how I'm kind of looking at. That's how I feel about it. I'm like, oh my gosh. I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool. There's just so much. It just has to be shared.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's the only thing it could be.
Yeah.
So that takes a lot of energy. That's all about the energy, and that's amazing.
Oh my God, there's something happen, and all the crystals have are like love crystals. You know, like this one is a dusty rose, and then the other one was like the smoky. So the fourth shattered. I buried some of it, gave it back. You know, and I gave it to my daughter, and then my like friends.
That's what I see. It's just meant to be. It's so cool. I absolutely love it.
And so, like, tell me a little bit, like, you're on your Facebook every morning exercising, like, I'll get there.
Yeah.
I'll totally get there. Is that like another way that like you cope with like all the work that you do and like able to kind of like channel some of the energy out like before you get on calls with people during the day and stuff? Or what's all the great exercise that you're doing for?
1%. So because that's how I through movement. So I wake up. I have an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old,
You have an 18-year-old?
You're looking so good.
You look so good.
Yes, girl.
Oh my word. Okay. I'm sorry. Continue.
I
Oh wow.
so yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
So-
you look
but
really good.
So yeah. So I wake up at like 5 o'clock before my like even stirs. I do a lot of. I meditate first because right when you're in that like sleepy part of your days is the best time to meditate. So I actually listen to my vision, amazing of like music, and I put it to like a song and it's beautiful. Like listen to it. So I do that, and then I do my meditation, and then I do personal development. Right now, I'm breaking the habit of
Breaking the habit of what? I'm sorry, you cut out a little there. Of being here. Ooh,
Being
Love
okay.
what's going on. We're like creating a book list, so any book recommendations we love.
Yeah. I'm all like the science and the like woo woo joined together. So I do my and I work out because like I have to once I feel like meditate get the answer. When you pray, you're asking. Meditate, you're listening. Right? Work out, I kind of like move through that. I kind of do a lot of processing. So I do a lot. Like I'll wait and then I'm running kind of like for me because if I move, I hold a lot of energy, as you can see. So and I do, you know, like in the past I struggled with anxiety. When you are working out and when you're moving, your body releases stale energy, right? So the more you move, the more you like release and you process through. So that's the deal. Like Sundays I don't work out and I can feel my mood shift. You know? So then I'm active with the family, like walk into nature. Because when you're sitting still, we're balls of energy. I don't know if you guys like this. Like, we literally are energy. Like our molecules are held together by energy. It's energy on top of energy. So if we're sitting still, there's nowhere for energy to go. Right? So what happens? Our body almost like revolts against it. Start feeling the almost a thought, like the ego takes over, and we're like negative thinking, negative thinking, but we get moving process and we start feeling our natural.
Wow, I've never even thought about it like that. Dang. Okay.
I know, my dang girl. I was mind blown.
Dang. Okay. I need to get my butt moving.
1 hour of movement, depending on how I'm feeling. And I can tell, like, if it's a day where I'm carrying a lot, I move more. So, and Right? It depends on what I'm an emotional integrity. I don't know if you guys know anything about design. I'm a manifesting
I love it.
general authority. Yeah. So like, and I'm guided by my emotions, by my feelings. I use those feelings to like almost decipher how what I'm doing. You know, like if I'm feeling really yucky, I'm to sit back and say, well, what is this? What is it that I'm feeling? Like dropping that feeling a little bit more. Writing. Have you
Have
ever
we ever
done
done shadow what?
Writing.
No, I haven't.
writing? Girl, it's some powerful. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're good.
It fit right in.
Yeah. So what is the way? Sometimes we can't the thoughts,
Right.
right? Sometimes we think them so quickly, and as soon as we think them, they either go away or something new comes in.
Story of my life.
So when you put pen
I'm
to
like
paper,
50 tabs open on an internet browser. I don't know where to go.
yeah. So like if you write it in the form of right, it kind of takes that thought and puts it on paper. So
Yeah.
dump, right? So you take all these feelings, you write it down, you work through. The more you start to feel your shift. You start to feel like these thoughts change to like almost contempt, you know, like or hopeful. Or you keep writing, you're like, oh, they start turning to positive, and then you're like, oh, right, well, this feel really good. So there's like an actual method to it. I could teach you guys all of this
Yes.
stuff, but
I want to learn it all.
pen to paper. When you put pen to paper, process it. So it's like all of these things are just more tools to help you figure out why us humans don't understand that
Right.
incredible beings. You know?
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy because like one of our biggest missions, right, is not to be defined by our mental health. And so like the other day when I had gotten through the mindset coaching with you, I was really like, you know, because I'm always everything's always like, I have anxiety, I can't do that, right? I have depression, so that's why I didn't do that today, you know, and like, and then I finally felt like I could kind of stand back against it and work through it instead of having to be like truly defined by it. So it was like a really powerful feeling to say, you know what, not that I don't have anxiety or we don't have anxiety, right? Because we do, but like being able to work through it instead of letting it completely consume you was just so it was such a powerful feeling to be on the other side of the issue.
So think of it like this: you actually powerful statement. I have anxiety. I am not
Ooh,
anxiety.
yes.
I have depression. I am not that have trauma. You've had you are not right. So we are just, you know, like, and that's why I like to take more into that like internal place where you can just notice yourself noticing yourself from this like looking in on it, you know, and acting like this is you. It's not you. It's just like I have this shirt,
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Break it down.
It's
Yeah.
so true.
you know. Anymore.
Right. So when it was funny because I had said like another cliche, right? Like I don't know was one of them, but then when I was speaking with you the other day, I also said that I was my own worst critic. So can you just take us through that? Because I think it's such a like everyone says that, right? So I just want everyone to hear kind of how you flipped that for me.
So everybody has it is basically like that inner that innocent side of you, right? That little child inside of you. Wait a second, I'm scared. Wait a second, safe, right? So, for example, if your block is something and you say like, I'm not good enough, never good enough, it's too hard for myself, right? All that's what it's trying to serve you, tell you like, you're scared, you're just scared. And I'm just to show you that, and I'm trying to serve you, you know? So your inner critic is not your inner critic. Oops, sorry. Your inner critic is actually your best friend, because what it is,
Dang,
it's showing
okay.
you the blocks. You know, oh, thank you for showing me this. You know, and the way that I like to put it is like, when your child,
No, I
you've
do
got
not know.
children, okay, but and like when they do something wrong, it's so fucked up. You're not how you talk to a child, right? But that's how we talk to
Yeah,
ourselves.
it is.
So if you just flip your inner critic, worries and these doubters, and if you just say, "Oh, okay, you, I appreciate you showing me this," you know, and you just hand and say, "You know what? Let's see if there's a better way."
Yeah.
You know, and show that compassion, and that these blocks is trying to serve you in some, and that's how you become that super, by taking them by the hand and being like, "Let's do this
Yes.
together."
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And
Oh, you cut out on that last one. I'm so sorry. Oh,
I
yeah,
said that
absolutely.
feels better. It's than
Absolutely.
and said like, I'm my own worst critic. You just know yourself better than anybody else. You just know what you've lived through. Remember those things that hurt or or that you failed really bad, and then you thought, I'm not going to remember, right? These are old stories that don't even make sense. So the inner critic is saying, hey, this is what it felt like, and this situation that we're getting into feels a lot like that. And this is what we're going to
Yeah,
untie.
That's
we
awesome.
had.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. Be aware they're there, and they're going to be there. And the more that you on them, and the more that you accept them, the easier it is for you to find action towards your desire, or towards the things you
Yeah,
want in life.
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So
That's the fun stuff. When you have those breakthroughs, you're like,
Right.
yeah.
I
So
love those
as far
moments.
as mentors, you said you had a wellness coach first, right? Then your mindset coach, and then you kind of went off, branched off, did your own thing, right? So how long have you been doing mindset coaching,
yeah.
and where can people find you? What's the easiest way? And you can, I mean, drop the link definitely in our on MR2, my personal page, wherever you want to drop it, because I'm sure people will definitely want to connect with you after tonight.
So my coach had like 2 years, but I officially branched off on my own and just went all in about a year ago, because so much call for it. I was right, so it was like just a little bit of coaching here and there for all and help them out, you know. And there was just so much call. Like, can you work? You help me do this, that I just it, and I got really busy, that I was just I act because, you know, think of quitting and just transition into your path. Right? So then I went into my mindset coaching. So I like to call my mindset and expansion coach, right? Because this happens when you flip that, right?
Oh, I
Everything,
like that. I was wondering what the expansion
Yeah.
was. That I like that.
right? So it's funny, right? You end up becoming more you flip your mindset about self-worth, you become like this amazing, compassionate person. So I am here on Facebook. I do have like a page, but it out a little bit. So it's just Colleen Poukish. I run a membership on Facebook, which is called, and what is, it's like daily posts. There's one call a month that we do as a group, and that actually officially kicks on the and then I also do individual coaching, and that's where the mindset group and flip it, learning more about it. But when you really want your life, really want to move towards the direction of your deepest desire, that's where. So find me on my page, Colleen. I will drop my. I love to do the clarity call. Clarity calls all day. A clarity call, and then after that, I'm giving you guys just is 10% off my 6-month coach. It's a coaching package. It's an hour with me, and then of course throughout, like goals and all of that stuff for 6 months. So, and it's amazing. We go through all the goals, and then like I just had one of my clients hour session because when I started with her, COVID hit, right? And she was dealing with, because she was the theater coordinator, like she ran theater in the school, right? And because the school had shut down, part of it down, felt like she lost. So for this whole year, we were just working on her diet, working on self. And she did last week that the theater so it's that she was doing through this year was preparing her to go back in. And
that's so awesome.
So yeah, so things that we do immediately get to work.
That's amazing. That's so cool, and we're so excited to be a part of it too. And you said March 8th.
March 8th.
Okay, perfect.
And if you want to know about that, you can message me or drop comments underneath here about that. If you want to set up a clarity call, go deeper. I will.
Oh yeah.
I figured that out.
Post, okay?
And we'll have it on MR2 and both of our personal pages as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it all. I'm so glad you got to come on and share with us. Like, it truly means the world to us that you were able to get on and kind of talk everything through with us.
Yeah, it really does. And thank you so much for bearing with us with the words are hard, technical difficulties in the beginning. But we appreciate you so much. We're learning so much from you, and I know there's so many people that are going to be able to learn just a ton. Hopefully we'll be able to have you as a guest again on our show. Thank you again for being here and supporting MR2 Connections Incorporated and MonuMENTAL Minds. We'll be back next Saturday at 6 p.m. Central. And make sure you guys keep an eye out. We've got new products that we're posting, and again, we're going to be sharing and sponsoring Colleen Poukish here and the Mindset and expansion coaching, which is really excited, something that we're learning and taking a part of. And thank you everybody who's here and being supportive. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
So much fun.
Bye, Colleen.